So, hey everybody, my name is Lefteris. I will talk to you about privacy, I guess. So, first things first, I kind of forgot about the meetup. I'm really sorry, Martin. And I kind of knew that I had to come here, but I forgot that I actually had to have a talk. So there is no slide in the talk, but I don't need any slides. I'm going to talk to you about what privacy is, what it is to me, what it should be to you, and what it also means in Web3 in like more particular, but it really doesn't matter for Web3 so much as it matters for any kind of digital life that we all have. So maybe let's start by asking, what is privacy? Like we said, it's important that everybody should have it. It's a human right and all of that stuff. But what is privacy? I saw previously in the slide, Martin had the glasses, right? Many times you see the black glasses to represent privacy. Other times you see this kind of detective with a thing, up here, hiding with a hat. This is privacy, like that you try to hide something. This is how we represent privacy somehow. If you Google most of the times the word privacy, you will get some kind of a hidden guy or like black glasses, as I said. So it somehow has become, let's say, that you need to hide something, so you need privacy. So this is a totally wrong way to see what privacy is. Privacy is not about hiding, but it's about freedom, and it's the freedom to decide for you as the user what you're going to allow other people to do with your data. When you do not have privacy, that means that you have no freedom. That means that all of your data, everything that you are doing, will be open to the entire world. That is how I would at least define privacy. There are other definitions, I suppose. And then let's see maybe more concrete examples. KYC. This is one of the, some people say, necessary evils, but it's also kind of what has completely eliminated privacy for almost all of us, yet everybody ignores it, right? Like, how many of you have KYC'd with some service in the last month? Yeah, me too, by the way. Yeah. And do you know what your data, what they do with your data? Like, where does it stay? There are many regulations that they have to follow, very strict regulations, but regulation and actual implementation does not make. Mistakes happen, like many of you, I suppose, are developers, or even worse, admins of system admins. You can make a misconfiguration, make a mistake, something bad happens, and then somehow you have an open port, I don't know, like something happens and a lot of user data are exposed. The regulation said that you should not have done that, but that doesn't really help, right? Like, okay, you did a very big mistake, but then all of your users' data is gone. There have been in this sector and outside of this sector many cases of data that were leaked because of KYC. Privacy in general means not only KYC data, but other smaller data that we don't really consider, yet there are the so-called data brokers that are actually trading them. Anything that you do, anything that you do online, like visiting a website, even using, I don't know, Amazon to have your preference, etc., leave some kind of a footprint that goes from site to site, and people are gathering this data and are using them against you. Where am I going to go with this? That's a good question.
Very good.
Good. So how do we solve this, right? How can we solve privacy? At the moment, with the current web that we have, I don't think that it is solvable. We started crypto at first in order to allow the freedom to transact, to have our own economy, so to say. But then we didn't really think about privacy there, and this is, I guess, something that they will talk about in the Web3 privacy. But as a Web3 user, how many of you are actually thinking of what you're doing with your address and what you're leaking there? Okay, that's good. That's really good. Because there's many people that I know of and are actually working in the sector who just don't care. They say I don't have anything, so that doesn't matter. The problem with Web3 privacy is that it's a lot more permanent than any of the other data. You, the moment that you associate an address with an ENS, which many of us have done, then you have leaked basically everything that this address has been connected to. This is something that many people do not realize, and is basically, let's say, cardinal sin of blockchain crypto, of the big ones. Like, it's everywhere. It's Bitcoin, it's Ethereum, it's Solana. Everywhere we have the same problem. Everything is public, which is great if you are, I don't know, a government using the blockchain. We're still trying to get them to use the blockchains, right? But we, as private individuals, we are using the blockchain and we are leaking everything. I was trying to explain that to my parents at some point, that if I give you this address, then you basically, it's not as if I give you my IBAN, because there were people who were kind of thinking, okay, an address is an IBAN, so I can send you money. Yeah, but you can also fetch all the history of everything that I've ever done by knowing the address. This is insane. So this is something that we, and there are people in Web3 that are trying to solve this, but with different blockchains and also with other solutions on top of currently existing blockchains. So in Web3, what can we do in order to make privacy better? Any ideas? Because as I said, I didn't create a talk, so I would like some help from the audience.
Tornado cache.
Yeah, mixers. Mixers is one thing that many people use. Unfortunately, we had like the case with Tornado Cache that basically has created a lot of problems legally for anybody that wants to use Tornado. Anything else?
More seriously, on the KYC note, I don't know why zero knowledge proofs aren't more prevalent in Syria.
So I'm no regulator, but I was talking with some teams who were trying to think of using zero knowledge proofs for this. I mean, from the technical perspective, it should be okay, but I think that they hit hurdles with the regulators that they also need to have some copies of the actual documents, which is insanely stupid if you think about it, because this just creates all the problem, the toxic waste of KYC that can leak, and it's a problem for everybody who has to keep it. And yes, a zero knowledge proof alone should be enough, but I don't know, we need to educate the regulators better there, I guess. Yeah, so mixers is one way to stay private, yeah. Is there any other way if you're a bit more careful, maybe? Like, have you guys considered, like, something that I have been advising to many people that I know, to just try and keep your private addresses and your public addresses? So you have, how do you say, like groups of addresses that you have, you consider your public, for example, for me, Lefteris.eth and any address ever connected to it. And then your private addresses where you just do stuff that you don't want to share with anybody else. This should work in theory, right?
Depends on how you manage it.
Yeah. How would you manage it? How would you try to not connect them ever?
I mean, do transactions in different time zones, maybe from these addresses. Interact maybe with different instances of the same, like different indexes, so you cannot connect all these addresses using indexes.
Yeah. I mean, that's all good advice. Why specifically different time zones? Just to different times to not leak metadata from the IP if anybody is also.
If you do some analysis on maybe, so it's even harder to connect.
Yeah. So this is even more like hardcore to try to not leak metadata from if you use your own client, right? If I understand correctly,
No.
to not connect the addresses. This is definitely a good idea, but there is some other things that are very, very big traps when you do this, because I have fallen into that. I have basically created multiple groups of addresses which basically became public over time because I just made mistakes. And one of the biggest is basically off-ramping. And with off-ramping, when you go to an exchange, one of the biggest mistakes that people, even knowledgeable, just make because it's so easy to make, is to just use the same deposit address by mistake, because even the exchange doesn't remind you that it was ever used before. Then you just click send, and then suddenly you're like, oh my god, I just sent to the same deposit address from the public one that I had sent from the private one. Then everything is connected again. In the end, like, in order to have real privacy, if you think about it, if we can make mistakes like that, then this is not really a solution. I think that would mean, like, because I wanted to at some point consider this a solution. You know, you have to just be more careful and more have discipline. Be a very disciplined user of crypto. You will be tired one night, you will make a mistake, and then these mistakes are irreversible. So the only real privacy that you can have is, in my opinion, from my experience so far, is like protocol level privacy. Just to not be allowed to make mistakes, to not be allowed to leak your privacy. Does anybody else have any opinion on this? For how to achieve privacy in Web3 and on-chain?
I mean, it really depends on which situation you're dealing with, right? So I think privacy is also from the other side, like who is going to request something. So I would say that's like someone needs to verify something. I think if you need to verify something, then you just filter in what you request from this person. So let's say there is me as an owner of my credentials, or me as an owner of my whatever I own. And then I guess on the other side, there's someone that needs to request something for you. So for example, in terms of identity, you need to know someone's age when you want to buy alcohol in the store. I think there you don't need to know what the actual birth date is of the person. You need to know if this person is above 18 or not, right? So I think how you in that sense can like preserve your privacy is to say, okay, we don't need to know the birthday of someone. We just need to know whether this is like above 18 or not. I think that's called selective disclosure. I think that's how you can like preserve your privacy in one way. Just make sure that only the necessary things are requested, and that you only need to verify, or that you only can give the information that is needed, other than any additional information.
Yeah. I mean, in theory, that is good if it can be implemented, right? With some kind of zero knowledge proof, like taking the above 18
But
and
that
not.
can be implemented, right? That's not. That can be implemented, right? Or
Yes. I guess I'm not dealing with zero knowledge proof technical part myself. But I was more about the specifically Web3 activity type of privacy, how to preserve it when you are out and about doing stuff in crypto. How do you make sure that you don't leak your privacy?
Yes, to be not having to be so disciplined and careful. You can maybe separate this address into different software or even hardware. Like you have a separate laptop where you would never connect like a public address to an exchange, and this would be slightly easier.
Yeah, but this also may fall under the discipline, right? I mean, you have an entire different laptop that takes discipline. Yeah. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that even if there is no even if there is a lot of will from the part of the user and a lot of technical expertise, it's you will make mistakes. Like I guarantee you will make mistakes, and this is why we need protocol level privacy. So if you take anything out of this, is just that we need protocol level privacy for Web3. And for the other privacy, this actually, apart from Web3 privacy, what concerns me a lot and like made me create the company that I am working on is privacy in general, like having the ability to share data with whoever I want and not be forced to share data. This is not specifically Web3 related, even though, so I have created this company called, this product called Rodkey with my team, and it was created from the need to do accounting. This was the very first reason of its existence, and then to track and to manage mostly crypto. But the fact that it's crypto doesn't really matter. It's the fact that it is your personal financial data. And everybody back then, back in when was it, like 2017, was telling me, "Oh yeah, you should go to bitcointax.com. They are good. You just give them all the addresses and they tell you how much you need to." And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like that's basically just giving, as we said, everybody your IBAN, but also all of the ability to get the entire history." So I wanted a way to do all the calculations myself. So I made the script like back then in the CLI, and I got what I wanted, and then I used it. And then I realized that many other people had the same problem, and wanted to have something that is not a web app. So this is also something that personally concerns me a lot, and that is having the ability to have a choice to use local applications that keep data locally and not web apps. This is not specifically, even though this is again a crypto management and crypto accounting application, this is a question of having the choice for other stuff too. Because we have a tendency in the tech field for the last, quite a long time actually. Yeah, for the last 10 plus years, maybe more, to just put everything to the cloud, right? Everything is a web app, and the word app has become kind of synonymous with just having, like, opening a browser tab and there it should be there. Like, you don't care that most of your data actually passes and is visible to that server. And this is insane to me. I can't do this. I'm physically unable to do this. This is why I'm a very big proponent of self-hosted or local first software. You can call it many different ways. So if anybody has the need to manage their crypto in a private way, safe way, and decide what to share and with whom, you can go and use, so this advertisement by the way, the tool that my team and I are creating called Rodkey, so rodkey.com. But also, I would encourage you guys, because this is actually a very, very big part of your privacy, to ask yourselves, what does each and every single app that you use do with your data, and where is it stored? So if everything is stored in a server, then you're fucked. Like you're completely screwed, because at any point anything can leak. And I don't know. Like when I first started saying it, it felt like fear mongering. But as the time passes, then we just saw it happen so many times. We've had so many leaks and so many data go out there, and not just go out there and then it's out there and it's okay, but it has led to people getting harmed, and it probably has also led to loss of life. So it's like something really dangerous. It's not just fear mongering. So I would just like to close this talk with the call out for you guys to just think what each and every app that you use does with your data, and try to use and support applications that give you the choice to keep your data locally, or to at least decide how much of your data to share and with whom. That's all.